Queen Elizabeth's special bond with Prince Edward. When people think of Queen Elizabeth II's children, the spotlight often falls on Prince Charles, Princess Anne, or even Prince Andrew. But her youngest son, Prince Edward, shared a unique and deeply affectionate bond with the Queen. Unlike his older siblings, Edward grew up in a slightly more relaxed royal environment, and as the baby of the family, he often had a different experience with his mother. Let's take a closer look at the sweet and special bond between Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Edward. A different childhood compared to his siblings. By the time Edward was born in 1964, Queen Elizabeth had been on the throne for over a decade. With her early reign dominated by royal duties and extensive travel, her older children, Charles and Anne, saw much less of her in their early years. But by the time Edward arrived, the Queen had settled into her role, and there was a noticeable shift in her parenting style. She was more present, more engaged, and had more time to spend with her youngest son. While she still upheld royal traditions, Edward's childhood was considered more affectionate compared to that of his siblings. A gentle and sensitive son. Unlike his more outspoken and rebellious siblings, Edward was known for his quiet, well-mannered, and sensitive nature. He wasn't a troublemaker like Prince Andrew, or burdened with the heavy expectations placed on Prince Charles. Instead, he was regarded as polite and studious, with a natural charm that made him a favorite in royal circles. His personality reportedly made it easier for him to connect with the Queen, who valued discipline and composure, but also appreciated his gentler approach to life. Edward's royal career and his mother's support. Edward took a slightly different path from his brothers when it came to his career. After a brief and highly publicized departure from the Royal Marines, he shifted his focus toward television production, founding his own company, Ardent Productions. While his time in media was met with mixed success, the Queen never openly criticized his choices. Instead, she remained supportive, allowing him the space to explore his interests. A steady and loyal presence in the royal family. Over time, Edward found his place within the royal family, dedicating himself to public service and taking on more royal duties. His work with the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, a youth program founded by his father, Prince Philip, became a defining part of his role. After Prince Philip's passing, Edward became even more involved, stepping up in ways that the Queen deeply appreciated. His relationship with the Queen in her final years. In her later years, the Queen leaned more on Edward and his wife, Sophie, Countess of Wessex. The couple became two of her closest confidants, often seen accompanying her at events and spending quiet moments at Windsor Castle. When the Queen's health declined, Edward and Sophie were among the few royals frequently by her side. Their close relationship was evident during her funeral, where Edward was visibly emotional, showing just how deep their bond ran. While the Queen had love for all her children, her bond with Edward was uniquely special. He was her youngest, the one she had the most time to enjoy, and the one who, in many ways, remained the most devoted to the monarchy.